All right, today we're going to dive into one of history's truly profound stories about patience and faith. It's a story about a promise that didn't just seem unlikely, it was, for all intents and purposes, biologically impossible.
But before we get into all that, let me ask you something. Think about it for a second. What's the longest you've ever had to wait for something you really cared about? A year? 5 years? Maybe even 10? Just get that number in your head.
Now, whatever you're thinking, the story we're getting into today, it revolves around a wait that lasted a quarter of a century. Yep, 25 years. Just try to imagine waiting that long for the one thing you wanted more than anything else in the world.
So where does this whole incredible journey begin? Well, it all kicks off with a single promise. A promise so huge, so out there, it just seemed to defy all logic. Okay, so let's just lay out the situation here. On one side, you have the cold, hard facts. Abraham is 75 years old. His wife, Sarah, isn't just barren, she's way past the age of having children. That's the reality. And on the other side, you've got this absolutely incredible promise. Not just for one child, but to become the father of many nations, with descendants as countless as the stars in the sky. I mean, come on. This wasn't just a long shot. By any human standard, it was completely and utterly impossible.
So this seemingly impossible promise is made. But what happens next isn't some kind of instant miracle. No, what follows is a test. A 25-year test of endurance, of belief, and, ultimately, of patience.
And listen, this wasn't just some long, empty waiting period. It was packed with these huge, pivotal moments. It all kicks off at year 0, right, with Abraham at 75. Then, about 11 years in, a moment of doubt creeps in, leading to a decision that, has some really long-lasting consequences. But then, and this is key, at year 24, something changes. The promise is repeated, but this time it's with this absolute, undeniable certainty.
After almost a quarter century of waiting, with Abraham now 99 years old, the promise suddenly gets incredibly specific. It's not a vague someday anymore. This is a direct, time-stamped declaration. All the ambiguity is just gone. You could say the final countdown had officially begun. And 1 year later, after all that time, all the doubting and all the hoping,
We finally arrive at the moment everything has been building towards. This is the resolution to a story that was 25 years in the making, a promise fulfilled.
against all odds, at 100 years old, Abraham holds his son Isaac in his arms. The impossible had actually happened. The wait was finally over, and the promise that seemed to completely defy reality, it became reality itself.
It's just an incredible story, right? But what does it actually mean for us? Like, right now, why does this ancient story about a 25-year wait still hit so hard? Let's unpack some of the lessons that are kind of hidden inside all that waiting.
This story really offers some powerful takeaways. First, it seems to say that true faith isn't about getting what you want right away. It's something that's tested and really forged over time. It also highlights this idea that there might be a grander timeline at play, one that operates on a completely different schedule than our own. It shows us that just holding on, even when things seem hopeless, can lead to these truly extraordinary outcomes. And maybe the biggest thing is this: it reframes the wait. It's not just a passive delay, but an active time of growth, of becoming ready for what was promised.
So we started all this by asking how long you've ever waited for something. But I think this story leaves us with a much deeper question to think about in our own lives. When we're forced to wait, what does that patience really end up revealing? About our hopes, about our character, and about what we truly believe in. Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.